Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef. Today I'm going to show you how to make pizza pockets using Pampered Chef's hand pie and pocket maker. So if this is your first video, please hit the subscribe button while you're here, and also go to theflipflopchef.com to join my recipe community. I have thousands of recipes and a giveaway every single week. So pizza pockets. So think about Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets, my kids are like obsessed with Hot Pockets right now. They're expensive. They have a lot of preservatives in them. They don't even taste all that great if you ask me. But I have a way to show you how to make your own pizza pockets much cheaper and with not as much junk. So we are going to be using a prepared pizza crust dough that you can buy just about at any store. Even Aldi had their own brand pizza crust recently. I'm not sure if it was an Aldi feature that's only going to be there for a short time, but it was delicious. And I got this at Walmart, so this is Walmart's brand. And of course you can always get Pillsbury. It's just a little bit more expensive, and I actually tend to like these store brands better than Pillsbury, so it's just the way that it works, right? So we're gonna go ahead and make pizza pockets today. We're gonna use cheese and pepperoni. So for these pizza pockets, you're not putting the sauce inside, but you could certainly do that if you like. These are going to be served with sauce on the side for dipping, so they're not quite as messy when you do it that way as well. So I'm gonna show you how to make these, but first let's get the toppings ready to go. So we're gonna use some pepperoni, and I just have store-bought sliced pepperoni. We'll put 2 slices of pepperoni in each pocket, and we're gonna use some cheese. Now the recipe called for mozzarella, and I didn't realize we were out of mozzarella cheese, but so because of that, we're gonna use Colby cheese instead. This is Colby Jack. It'll be delicious, and it will probably actually be closer to what my kids want. They like the 4-cheese blend of Hot Pockets anyways, so I'll probably do some of these without any pepperoni in them, so we'll do a little bit of both. So we're going to use our cheese grater. So this is our coarse cheese grater, and we restyled this a year or so ago, and I like that it has a really easy open on the back. So you're basically just going to pull this button down to close this handle, pull it down again to go to this position, or you can pull it down again and go all the way open. So whatever preference you like, whatever feels most comfortable for you. This piece is the food holder. You slide this up the bottom, and then you're going to put your cheese right here and shred, so you're not shredding your fingers. Now, I do start without the food holder because it's easier to hold on to this block of cheese when it's larger, but then when it gets smaller, we will switch over to that. So if you are not already shredding your own cheese, why would you want to switch to doing this instead of buying your cheese already pre-shredded in the bag? So if you don't know this already, go to your fridge. If you have a bag of cheese, shredded cheese already in your fridge, you can go and open that, pull that out of your fridge and look at the ingredient list. There is an ingredient for cellulose powder, which is basically a fancy name for ground up wood fiber, which is sawdust. Now, I grew up in a cabinet shop. Basically, my dad, that was the business he was in when I was a kid. I don't want sawdust in my food, right? So anytime I can avoid that, I'm going to. So we're gonna just shred just a little bit more, and then we're gonna switch over to the food holder. Again, you do not want to shred your knuckles, and so I got just a little bit more before I can put that other piece on the top, and then we'll flip this little block of cheese so that it fits perfectly inside there, and then we'll finish shredding. This cheese grater is also dishwasher safe, so it's very easy to clean. So cellulose powder keeps your cheese from sticking and clumping together. So the reason they have to put that in there is because otherwise you would just get a bag of clumped up cheese. So if they sold them in containers where they wouldn't get smushed, that would help a little bit and they wouldn't have to put that in there. So I'm going to show you the best way to store your cheese after you shred it, because you might be thinking, Mindy, I don't want to get out a cheese grater every time I need just a little bit of cheese. So instead of doing that, do what I did today. I'm not going to use all of this for this recipe. Shred the whole block, store it in one of our leak-proof storage containers, and it will keep it from clumping together because you're not squishing it because it's not in a bag. Now, this is our flexible cutting mat. I love this, you guys. Look, makes it perfect, easy way for me to transfer that cheese right to this 3-cup container. So this 3-cup container will hold an 8-ounce block of cheese perfect. Now our leak-proof containers do come as a set, so you're going to get 3 different sizes. You're going to get the 3-cup, 5¼ cup, and an 8¼ cup when you purchase that set. Now the way that these work, you put the lid on the top. This little white piece is a seal, so you want to make sure that that is on the rim of your container, and then you're just going to lock it in place. And this will keep in your refrigerator for a few weeks without molding. Just make sure that you get that airtight seal. I'm gonna take the lid off because we're gonna need this for our pizza crust. So let's go ahead and get our baking mat out, or excuse me, our, oh gosh, the pastry mat. I was like, the word has left me. Let me slide my air fryer out of the way. I did use this already this morning for another video, and so I thought, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother washing this flour off. I'm just gonna use it again. And so I still have some flour on here, probably enough. So I'm just gonna spread that around, and this will be the hardest part of this recipe, is just getting this open. So we're gonna peel this off. Whoop, I didn't even have to hit it on the counter. So usually I have to bang it on the counter. So if you weren't awake now, before you are now, right? Okay, so we are going to just pop that out, and then I'm gonna unroll this, and I'll use my my powdered sugar shaker. We changed the name, and I have flour in this one. And then we're gonna take this tapered rolling pin. Now the instructions tell me to roll this out so that I can get 6 circles. So I'm gonna just gently roll, and you can even like stretch. Sometimes I find that stretching is more efficient when you're trying to get to a certain size. Actually need a little bit more flour on the bottom of this corner. On my previous video, I wasn't rolling into a rectangle. All right, so this is our hand pine pocket maker. It's 3 pieces. We're gonna use all of these, but this is like your cookie cutter. So we need to be able to get 3 circles. So I don't quite have enough of our dough yet. Let me pull that. And you don't wanna put a lot of pressure on this. My kids made some pizza pockets last week, and I told Connor to roll it out, and he literally put all of his weight on this tapered rolling pin. And I'm like, well, you need to slow down and just use a little bit less pressure. So that kind of came apart, so we're gonna pinch that together, and I think we can get 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I need just a tiny bit of space here. So we're gonna go ahead and cut our 6 circles. So this is going to make 3 pizza pockets, because you're gonna need, 6 pizza pockets. And see, I still don't quite have enough on this corner. Let me stretch that a little bit. I don't want a lot of wasted dough either. I actually made like cinnamon roll bites with the leftover scraps the other day. They were just okay. They weren't anything special. I don't even think I shared that recipe. But we can roll this out and see what we get. See if I can cut that better. It didn't go through. Maybe we can get another pocket out of this. Okay, so we have our 6 flour pieces. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring over this pocket maker here. So this is like your cookie cutter. This is how you're gonna make your pockets, okay? So I'm gonna put this on here, and then we're gonna use the little scoop. Look, it has its own little scoop that comes with it. And so y'all know I never measure cheese, so for me to use this is a miracle. But it's also because I don't want to overfill these, all right? So we're gonna put 1 little scoop of cheese in here, and a couple pepperoni. Now my kids, they sort of, they tore the pepperoni, but you don't have to do that. And now we're gonna separate an egg. Well, first I'll show you. We didn't do this step because we forgot. So it works either way. So you're gonna take your pizza pocket, and you're gonna flip this over and just press to crimp, okay? And when you pull this apart, you have this pizza pocket, right? All right, so what we're gonna do, let me wash my hands, excuse me, something's sticking on my nose. Apologize for that. We're going to separate an egg so that we can brush the egg white over the top of these, and they'll be super shiny when you're done. So we're gonna crack our egg here using an egg separator. And I love this egg separator from Pampered Chef because it will fit on a variety of size bowls. So I'm gonna just give this a little swirl here, and I'm gonna discard the yolk. I don't need it for anything else right now. But check this out. If this was on a wider bowl, I could open the little handle even farther and it would sit wherever I need it. I'm gonna take our mini whipper, whip this quickly. This whipper is actually my grandma's favorite Pampered Chef product. She says she doesn't know how she made gravy all those years before I started selling Pampered Chef. So I don't know if Grandma's watching, but hi Grandma, if you are. All right, so we're gonna whip that And then the next thing we're gonna do this the way the recipe says. We're gonna take our little circle and we're gonna do what we just did. We're gonna add that cheese. So we're gonna do a spoonful of cheese and then 2 pepperonis, and then it tells you to take this egg white and just brush this on the edge before you crimp it. So I told you we forgot to do that the other day and they turned out just fine, but I want to show you how the recipe says to do it. And so you press to crimp, and then look at that. We have these pockets. So you're gonna get to see me do this a couple more times. I'm not gonna go through the trouble of brushing the egg white on the edges because I don't think it's even necessary, but we will do it on the top. So these just keep wanting to shrink on me a little bit. All right, so we'll do 3 with pepperoni and 3 without. All right, you can even use this to make like sweet, like fried pie type recipes, you know, like peach pies. If I could go back in time and have my granddaddy's fried peach pies, oh my goodness, it would be amazing. They were so good. Okay, so we have 2 more, and then I'm gonna tell you how to make these in the air fryer. So we're gonna use Pampered Chef's air fryer today. And if you don't have an air fryer from Pampered Chef, you need one. It's basically a countertop convection oven, and there is no preheat time whatsoever. If you wanna learn more about our air fryer, I have an air fryer class on my YouTube channel. Oops. And you can certainly check that out. I show you how to make, I don't even know how many different things, but I tell you all the tips and tricks that I know for the air fryer. My favorite feature, I think, is the reheat, because you can reheat leftovers and they actually taste good, sometimes better than when you made it the first time. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get my, so look, all of this snaps together. Of course, we're gonna wash this, it's dishwasher safe, but look, all the pieces snap together. Hand pie and pocket maker. All right, so I've got my air fryer. I think I have 2 trays in here. We're just gonna use one of these, and this is gonna go on the middle rack. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spritz it with some oil. So Kitchen Spritzer is a great product because you don't have the preservatives that you get with other cooking sprays. So this is just vegetable oil in here. You're gonna pump the pressure in the bottle until it's too hard to pump. And that's how you know it's pressurized. So if you don't pressurize this bottle, it is not going to spray. So press, 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 press. And then we're gonna spray this over the sink here. Just like that. And then place these here. Whoops, I'm squishing that one. And whoops, I don't think I have to do it that way. Okay, I'm gonna put these all the same direction because that's gonna bother somebody if I don't. All right, so the ones that just have cheese, I'm just gonna put like a little indentation and then we'll know which is which. Okay, so we're gonna take this egg white and I'm gonna just brush this over the top. My boys are like, why are you doing that? Like they were just like, I don't want an egg in my pizza pocket. And I was explaining to them that if you brush this, you get like a really shiny look instead of that crusty, like a, you know, almost flaky if you don't do this, and it just looks prettier. Now, the other thing that you can do to mark things, so if you like, we put a slit in these that are just cheese, we can do some Italian seasoning on top of the ones that have the pepperoni, and that not only makes them look a little bit prettier, but adds some flavor. Another great seasoning to top these with is the everything but the pizza seasoning. All right, so we're gonna put these on the middle rack of our air fryer. I'm not sure if you guys can, oops, if you guys can see that. Let me slide this back into the camera view. And I'm gonna close the door here, and this is going to go on bake. So if you don't understand how Pampered Chef's air fryer works, we have a custom setting, which means you can set the time and the temperature for whatever you like. All the other settings are pre-programmed with a specific temperature that you usually can't adjust except for the dehydrate feature, and they have a set time for what they think you might want to try using. But for this recipe, it says bake, and you're gonna do this for 7 minutes. So we're gonna turn this to bake, which is 350 degrees. So I could still do custom 350 if I didn't want to do bake. Every setting does the same thing. It just does it at a different time and a different temperature, okay? So don't let it confuse you. Don't complicate things. The pre-programmed settings are actually to make it less complicated for you. So bake, I have to press this to select it, so now the numbers are flashing. I'm not sure how well you can see that on this camera. We're gonna set it for 7 minutes, press the wheel to start. Now, if you, some recipes will tell you to like flip these over halfway through. This particular recipe, you don't have to do that. So hang tight, you guys. I'm gonna see if I can get another pocket out of this, and I'll come back when these are done and show you the finished product, so stay tuned. All right, you guys, I'm back and my air fryer is done. So I'm gonna show you guys our pizza pockets, and they smell amazing. My kitchen is smelling delicious. Look at this. So beautiful, beautiful pizza pockets. My kids will probably eat these before I have a chance to really get them in the freezer. But if you wanted to make a bunch of these ahead of time, freeze them and then they can take them in their lunch. My kids do have the luxury of having a microwave in their classroom, and so some people may not have the ability to do that, but they certainly love it. So like I said before, we do not have sauce in these pizza pockets. If you choose to put sauce in them, you do need to use it sparingly so that you don't make a big mess and squirt all of that pasta sauce out when you crimp it. But what we like to do around here is I make pizza sauce in my deluxe cooking blender, and I portion it out into these 1 cup storage containers. These are mini freezer bowls, and they come with this cool rack. So once I pour the pizza sauce in here, I can transfer the rack right into the freezer. And then whenever I need some pizza sauce, whether it be to put on a pizza or to use as a dipping sauce for cheese sticks or pizza pockets, I just take one of these containers out, defrost it. Usually I put it in the microwave. I pry the lid off when it's still frozen, put it in there for 30 seconds, stir it just a little bit and put it back in for 30 seconds more, and usually that's enough to defrost the pizza sauce. And so I really like these. This is a discontinued item from Pampered Chef, but at the time of me recording this video, this is in our clearance outlet. So if this is something that you like, be sure to go get that before they sell out. These are also perfect if you have our ice cream maker or if you make your own homemade ice cream another way. This is the perfect portion size for a serving of ice cream. So this is just 1 cup, and excuse me, these are half cups, not 1 cup. And you can portion out the ice cream, and it makes it really easy for your kids to just go grab one, and you're controlling their portion without having to spend $10 on a sleeve of ice cream cups. So I hope you guys enjoyed these tips, and just so you know, I was able to make 2 more pizza pockets with the leftover dough. So I stuck that in my other air fryer, which is the one that's beeping behind me, and so I was able to get 8 pizza pockets out of 1 roll of pizza dough. So I hope you guys will try this. Don't forget to go to theflipflopchef.com, click the button at the top to join my recipe community, check out my recipes, stay tuned for giveaways, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.